Hello dearies, welcome back to the Craft Kitchen and a very warm welcome to all new subscribers. Also, welcome to the Craft Kitchen, where everything is about paper crafts and junk journaling. I'm very happy you're here and spending a bit of crafty time with me. So, yeah, I actually wanted to start my recording for making the lap book, the postal themed lap book, but yeah, maybe you can hear it from the outside the tiniest bit. I've been trying to wait for about 1.5 hours now, so maybe it would get a bit more quiet, but no, it doesn't happen today. We do have a construction site since October in our backyard. So, yeah, sort of to the right of our backyard, the neighbors' apartment houses are both being renovated since October. And the builders, of course, are quite noisy. And someone just turned on their radio, well, I guess against the noise. So, yeah, I do have a bit of music in the background, music I don't like. So yeah, the moment I settled down to start recording the start of making the lap book journal thingy, the noise began, of course. So I decided I'm going to be making the next 3-spine journal made from tissue boxes, like those, on camera, because I got a reminder from a viewer, from Susanne from Germany. Hi, thank you for this, that I sort of forgot to show you how to, let me open this, build the file folder compartment with the cover. It's this one. Yeah, the moment I finished making this, I realized, oops, I didn't press start on my camera. So, yeah. And since I'm going to be making much more of these journals, these 3-spine journals, because they are just, wow, amazingly beautiful, I'm going to show you how to make this file folder compartment. So, again, I took out 3 of my tissue boxes. And I'm going to cut them to sort of size and leave the flaps I will need for my journal. So, yeah, just trying to find my ruler. There you are. So for the first 2 parts, so the front and the back, I just can cut off all the top and bottom flaps, sort of. So it's actually the side flaps of the tissue boxes. So, and for the last, the third box, I'm gonna be needing these flaps here for my file folder compartment, as well as this window. So these flaps are still attached to this part with the window, like so, and then these side folds of the box will build the compartment folds. So everything just fell off here. So I have to leave this flap on top of the opening, the flap at the bottom, and this smaller part, the yeah, actually side of the box attached to my piece. So I can cut off this, this and this, and the same I can do down here. I also cut off this bit here at the end of the box, so at the bottom of the box, because this was just the glue flap which held this box together. So let me remove this strip. Maybe not, I don't know. I guess I can't get it off. I'm gonna be trying off camera. Gonna be wetting this a bit and then we will see, because there's quite a lot of hot glue, so EVA on here. So, and of course, having this for a spine is way too much. So this is 2 and about 5/8 of an inch, which is about 7 centimeters. This is much too big for this. So for Madame Guillot, I've been, Mademoiselle Guillot, I've been using a 1/2 inch spine, and she turned out to be quite chunky. So to give myself more room, I'm gonna be cutting my spine down to, I'd say 3/4 of an inch. Let's see if I like this. Ooh. You know, I really like 1/2 inch spines for this, but it's, yeah, way too much. So I'm gonna be using 5/8 of an inch. I know, it's not that big of a difference to 3/4 of an inch, but I really like this better. So let's see, 5/8 of an inch. There. Or, yeah, 1.6, so 1.5 centimeters. So marking 1.5 centimeters here. Well, actually, this ruler is already quite ruined, so I just can cut along here, like so. So this will be my spine for one side, and I'm going to be doing the same on the other side. And by doing so, I'm not only making my spine smaller, but when I glue those parts together, it will be already reinforced like this. Yeah, I'm gonna be gluing and reinforcing and decorating all of my cover parts, because you already saw me do this in the video in which I made the cover for Mademoiselle Guillot. It is linked up here, and of course also down in the description box. And when I've finished decorating everything, so yeah, putting on the decorative papers and reattaching my spine parts, and also attaching the acetate for the windows, you know, preparing everything, I'm going to show you how to assemble the cover parts to get this, yeah, file folder compartment. And this is why I've chosen to make this video for today. There again, noise. Yeah, because I just can't make everything off camera, because I already showed you, and just ignore the noise. Maybe put on my own music. I guess I'm going to be wearing my trusted headphones for this. Then I'll be back. So I finished the cover panels. I didn't glue it together yet, but it's actually 2 days later. Because when I started sewing around here, I ran out of yarn, and I was pretty sure I still do have 2 rolls of brown sewing yarn, at least one. But no, I had none. So the only yarn I could organize, yeah, sort of in a hurry, wasn't sturdy enough so that I could sew, yeah, along my, or more of through my glue tapes. Yeah, so I had to order good quality yarn. because I couldn't find it here in our town. Also, sort of in a hurry. I know there's been a sewing shop and they moved to another location, but I don't know where. So I ordered some new yarn. So at the front panel, so the front cover, I do have 3 different, slightly different sewing yarn colors, which is really funny, but you really have to take a close look to recognize it. So yeah, for some tasks you have to pay a bit more money to get them working. I still can use the cheap, so like really cheap yarn for just sewing paper, just decorative stitching. But yeah, if it's supposed to keep like the layers together, I have to go with the quality yarn. Also, this time, you remember we made the spine a bit smaller, and this time, before attaching the 2 panels to each other to make like one panel and build the spine, I made the sewing, because with these openings, just having like, yeah, this part here is much easier than having to bend your cover through your machine, unless you do have a machine with a long arm, like a quilting machine. I don't. So, yeah. And I attached my panels in the right order already. So this is the front cover, again with this opening with acetate. You fold this open, and I made a pocket here. And yes, I also already made the littlest decoration, because this tab and this were leftovers on my desk. And when I glued this pocket on, like this pocket here, I already had the idea of how to attach this here to my pocket. So if you do have an idea for decorating something, even though you're not ready to decorate your cover or pages yet, just do it, because most of the time later you just will forget about it. So, and then again, this will be a pocket with this opening, and now turning this over, I cut off the flap, because in the end it was on the wrong side. I didn't pay attention. So yeah, still like the other journal, like this one, Mademoiselle Guillot, I only do have one flap for the cover. So yeah, opening the sort of back cover, another pocket here, but this goes around the next panel with this file folder compartment. And I'm going to show you how to attach this and how to make the pocket here between the 2 spines of this, kind of like backside, because you can't make a pocket here. Doesn't work like this. So really the only opening you do have is this one. You could just leave it, glue it on, and forget about the pocket, so you just will have this window. But I think this is a bit boring, isn't it? So yeah, starting of course at the front and with the second panel. So we do have the one, I'm going to turn it over, with the flap left. So the bottom of the box, this is or was the side of the box, and I made it just smaller to have this spine. This is the top of the box with the opening, and again this is the side of the box, so like this, You can't see it anymore because, yeah, I already made this smaller. And I left it. And here I just used the top of the box, the side for the spine, again making this smaller. And here you can see this is the bottom of my box. And no, I didn't cover all of the inside behind my windows because, yeah, I didn't want to waste paper. And you won't see this later. Anyway, sorry, I'm out of frame. So I'm going to make a pocket here. And for this I'm going to be using bookbinding glue because, like I told you already, this glue really sticks to everything. So what we do have now is panel 1 attached to panel 2. So like this, the front cover. Opening this, you will have a pocket here. There will be a signature. Then here will be a pocket. I'm not going to open this now, not yet, because I don't want to stress it before it's really dry. This takes some hours, but I can already work with this. Then closing the first part, turning this over. This is the middle part, so the one where the file folder compartment is attached. So we are here. This is my signature that's going in here, not this one but another one. The coffee dyed paper is already drying. So yeah, let's build this file folder compartment. For this, yeah, I've been using almost all of the box. The only thing I changed was the width of this side panel of the box, like this. Made it into a spine, but everything else I kept like it is. So there, closing this, this would be a box if the spine was would be still intact. So this way. So what you could do now, you want these flaps on here, right? Like so. So what you could do now is just place your last panel, let me open this, it makes it easier, on your second panel, glue it on, and then just sew around, but only top, right side and bottom, because we want this here to be the opening between the spines. But just like with this one, this is really complicated to do because you need a bit of room for your panel, or two panels in this case. So you could fold this like this, place this on, and then you would still have something like this to go under your machine arm, your sewing arm. Not in my case. So I'm just going to glue this on again with bookbinding glue because I don't want this to fall off at some point. So you do have your first panel, your second panel attached. So flap back of your front cover with the opening, another opening, and then the back of your box. And now I'm taking my third panel facing this opening towards me. So this here is my back cover, and I'm attaching only this opening part at the top at the right side and the bottom with glue. So, if I explained everything correctly and understandable, you should have something like this now. So, this part here, this one, is your front cover. So, placing this face down, opening up the flap, you have your front cover on the other side. Then you have an opening, and the back part of your front cover is down here. So this opening already is your second panel, with the back part underneath this opening, like this. And this one here, the whole thing, is your third panel with your back cover, the opening, and the 3 flaps. And those two are attached spine to spine, like this. Turning this over. So you do have your front cover here with the flap which goes inside. Then you have the back part of your front cover. Underneath is the next panel with the opening attached, like this. And this piece here, only this sheet, is the back part of your second panel. And then you do have the flaps from your third panel here. So folding this in, there is your file folder compartment. Actually, this is making this for the first time really is a bit confusing, also for the second time. But I found out already for the first journal what really helps is sort of labeling your panels. I've been using sticky notes for this, so I labeled this 1, 2, and this one. Whoop. This one I labeled 3. So I at least roughly knew in which order I do have to attach them. But my guess is if you make this a few times, like 2 or 3 or 4 times, it won't be that confusing anymore. And I really like this concept, especially here with this file folder compartment. Of course, you could just cut off these flaps from your box and attach them, making some hinges to your panel. But I thought this way it's much more fun. So much more interesting to make it as well. And of course, I've been keeping all the cut-offs as well as one misprint. I forgot to adjust the height of this. This actually should have been this one. And my printer thought, oh, I'm using A4. So, yeah. Let's just print this in A4 size. No. This wasn't my intention. And I also kept the flap I actually wanted to use for the back, but yeah, of course I left it at the wrong side, so not at this panel, but on this side. So yeah, this couldn't work. I'm going to be making a tag for this journal with this. So yeah, my coffee 3-spine journal. This actually is a side project. So hopefully with the next video I'm gonna be finally starting to make the base, or at least part of the base, for my lab book. And I really think now is the time I can do this, because when I look outside, the roofers are almost finished, so it won't be that loud anymore. And yeah, I don't feel the need to film at night when everybody's sleeping. I mean, I do have to sleep at some time too. So yeah, hopefully, really hopefully, the main project, so the lab book journal, will start with the next video in a few days. And so far, thanks for watching and sticking around with me. And as always, stay crafty and be excellent to each other. Bye!